65 million years ago, Earth was very different from how it is now. Humans did not yet exist on Earth, and most creatures were quite unlike those we have now. There were fish in the sea, birds in the sky, and animals on land, but one species prevailed above all others, the dinosaur. Some were as small as rabbits, and others were as big as a house, weighing as much as an airplane. They ruled the earth and lived everywhere, from fields to forests to beaches. The dinosaurs were content with a planet that provided them everything they needed, a home where the only threat was another dinosaur. Small dinosaurs played with friends while the adults hunted for food. Others enjoyed eating the plants that Earth provided for them. During 160 million years, they lived a mostly peaceful, relaxed life. Tyrannosaurus rex. Tyrannosaurus means tyrant lizard. T-Rexes were over 40 feet long and weighed more than 7 tons. The T-Rex was the most voracious and dangerous carnivore that ever existed, and any animal crossing its path ran the risk of being devoured. Hold on! Before we keep going with this story, we're going to get to know some dinosaurs so we know who we're talking about. Diplodocus. The Diplodocus was as big as a basketball court and weighed as much as a truck. This enormous creature lived on tree fruits and ferns alone. To defend against dinosaur attacks, the Diplodocus used its pointy tail since it was many feet long and worked perfectly like a whip. Brachiosaurus. Brachiosaurus means reptile with arms. The Brachiosaurus was much larger than the Diplodocus. It was so huge that predators didn't even bother trying to attack. This dinosaur was a peaceful, happy giant with a heart so big that a person could have fit right inside. Triceratops. Triceratops means three-horned face. It was an herbivore, eating the plants it cut down with its enormous beak, which was similar to a parrot's beak. But if it got angry and decided to charge at you with its horns, watch out! Pteranodon. One of the largest creatures ever to soar the skies. In reality, the Pteranodon wasn't a dinosaur. It was a prehistoric flying reptile. Its body was merely the size of a turkey, but it had a head 6 feet wide and a wingspan of almost 24 feet. These birds were actually quite lethal. Triphaladonidae, cousin of modern-day lizards and snakes. The Triphaladonidae was a sea reptile, although it looked more like a shark or dolphin. It didn't have sonar like modern fish, but it had huge eyes to see huge distance underwater. It was a demon of the ocean. One day, life changed forever for the dinosaurs, although they couldn't possibly know what was about to happen to them. On one sunny morning, the Tyrannosaurus rexes came out to eat. They were the most dangerous of all. Huge and mighty strong, they could eat any animal, even a large hippopotamus. They would eat anything that satisfied their big appetites. They had just finished trapping their prey when they saw a strange light in the sky. It looked like a sun moving at a huge speed, coming closer every minute. Soon, the light was so blinding they could barely see one another. A meteorite the size of a large city crashed into the Earth at a much faster speed than a rocket travels. Its impact was as violent as millions and millions of bombs exploding at the same time. Hold on, do you know what a meteorite is? Meteorite means sky phenomenon and is used to describe rocks that come out of a fireball explosion, travel through the solar system, and eventually strike the Earth. These rocks can be as small as dust particles and as big as a major city. They revolve around the sun at great speeds, just as our Earth does. When their paths meet, boom! The fireball explosion occurs about 60 miles away from Earth, and the majority of the meteorites disintegrate in the fireball, causing shooting stars in the sky. But every year, about 100 of them reach land. Don't worry, though, we're not in danger. Astronomers study the skies, and no big meteorites will strike Earth in the coming years. Lucky for us. After striking the Earth's surface, dirt and soil quickly shot straight up, resulting in a huge dust cloud that quickly expanded over the entire planet, blocking off sunlight everywhere. Many plants died. Then the animals that lived off of those plants died. Then the animals that ate the animals that lived off the plants died. One by one, the larger animals died in the shadow of an immense black cloud overhead, made up of ashes, rocks, and smoke from the explosion. Hardy plants and the strongest little animals survived in a gloomy, cold world without food because of the thick, dark cloud. But dinosaurs were big and needed a substantial amount of food to survive, so they disappeared. Nonetheless, this massive disaster was fortunate for human beings. The dinosaurs had taken over the planet, and no other species of animals could ever compete with them. But when dinosaurs became extinct, mammals then became the kings of the Earth. Their natural predators were gone, so when the big dark cloud disappeared and the sun brought everything to life again, mammals ruled the Earth, growing and multiplying and making way for thousands of new animals. Lions, horses, dogs, penguins, giraffes, elephants, monkeys, pigs, tigers. And one day at last, human beings appeared and eventually dominated the Earth. We couldn't have existed if the dinosaurs hadn't become extinct. Before we finish, do you know when the different animals appeared after the dinosaurs died off? 65 million years ago, dinosaurs disappeared. After that, the mammals, early rodents, primates, big non-flying birds, and sharks appeared. Later on, early bears, dogs, and raccoons came into being. Later came bats, early horses, and rhinoceroses. Some mammals returned to the ocean. Then rodents multiplied in number. Pigs, camels, deer, and giant sloths came along then. After that, bovids, horned, hoofed mammals, giraffes, and saber-toothed tigers grew in number. Later, cows, sheep, and gazelles diversified. Mammoths and Homo sapiens, ancestors of the human species, then appeared. Finally, 200,000 years ago, humans appeared, as we are now as a species.